Hey everybody, Motorpoet 59 here. My youngest grandson lives in Taft, and he stayed with us for a few days, and I just took him home today. And for those of you who don't know, Taft, California is a huge oil boom town in the early 1900s. I think it was in 1915 that it was the wealthiest town in California. It was ahead of Los Angeles, San Francisco. They just couldn't get the oil out of the ground and get it out of there fast enough. I actually did a piece on the Sunset Railway, how they got the oil out of Taft, in my other channel, and I'll put a link to that in the description below. But anyway, after I dropped him off, I'm doing a piece for my other channel on the how oil gets from the ground to the refineries and eventually into the tank of your car. And so I wanted to go out there, only have a couple of segments I need to shoot on it still, and I was going to go out there and try to find a drilling rig, because that's one of the things I need to shoot some footage of. And 10 years ago, you couldn't throw a dead cat out there without hitting a drilling rig or a production rig. And a drilling rig, for those of you who don't know, is the rig that drills for the oil and brings the well in, and a production rig is the rig they put on there after they have brought the well in, and they run the tubing down, and they run the rods that hook to the pumping units that pull the oil out of the ground. And I did find some production rigs out there today, but I already have some footage of a production rig, but no drilling rigs. I went up on a high spot between Taft and Fellows, and Fellows was another huge oil boom place, and got my binoculars out, and in all directions, not one drilling rig. The last time I was out there, about a year ago, there were a couple of drilling rigs out there, but not anymore. My son-in-law works for a company, and he's in well abandonment, but that company is also involved in all aspects of the oil industry, from the geology to the production of the oil. Once it hits the refineries, it's out of their hands, but they have pipelines. It's a huge company. And we were talking the other day about the state of the oil industry in California, thanks to my idiot governor, Gavin Newsom. Now, in Newsom's defense, he's only perpetuating the things that Jerry Brown had going, who was only perpetuating the things that Arnold Schwarzenegger, the worthless piece of shit rhino Arnold Schwarzenegger, started. Arnold Schwarzenegger was not a conservative. He was a liberal. He ran as a Republican because Gray Davis had just been recalled, and the left knew that they were not going to get a Democrat elected. That just wasn't going to happen, so they ran Schwarzenegger as a Republican, even though he was a Democrat. And he is the one who we've had moratoriums on oil production and drilling in the past, here and there, sporadic pieces, but Schwarzenegger is the one that really started placing the moratoriums, especially on offshore. And then Brown put the kibosh on fracking. I want to do a piece on fracking on my other channel at some point, but all the things that the mainstream media has reported to you people about fracking is all a lie. It's all completely inaccurate, and they've been. I want to get into that. I will make that another video, but Gavin Newsom has made it almost impossible to drill a new well. The only kind of drilling that is being done, according to my son-in-law, is some of the re-drills, where they go in a well that's already been drilled, and they're going to go in and maybe make it a little deeper or do something with that well. But to go out in a place like the West Side oil fields, which is with Taft, Maricopa, Fellows, McKittrick, and not see one drilling rig. I haven't driven out through the Kern River oil fields, the Kern Front, the Kern River lease, in a while, but the last few times I did go through there, I don't recall seeing any drilling rigs. That's bad. That's really bad for the California economy. People think, well, it's just, well, if they get rid of oil, it'll just, people won't have jobs at gas stations anymore. That is the end of the line. That is the termination of oil. The jobs that involve drilling, production, maintenance. There are so many jobs associated with the oil field, not to mention the steel industry, the pipe industry, and those are tied together. And all the outside, the tool companies, the oil industry is gigantic in California, and they are trying to kill all those jobs. And then we have these green weenie idiot environmentalists who are leading my idiot governor and the left in California around by the nose, trying to get us to believe, in the mainstream media, I've heard them say it too, that most of those jobs will be replaced by renewable energy and jobs that are going to open up because of electric cars, and that is just ridiculous. That's just not going to happen. First off, there aren't that many jobs to be had when the electric car business comes. Tesla is already talking about production in China because it's so expensive in the United States, particularly in California. The battery manufacturing, that just doesn't take the manpower, especially with the technology we have today to put things together with robots. The jobs in the renewable energy industry in California, once wind turbines are built and in place, once solar arrays are built and in place, they require, especially solar arrays, require virtually no one to care for them. The wind turbines, they have a lot of maintenance people for that, but not nearly as many people as are going to lose their jobs in the oil fields. And those jobs are already taken. People are already working. They're not sitting around waiting for people from the oil industry to lose their jobs so they can start building more renewable energy places. That's not the way it is. And it's really the California economy is taking a beating over it, and no one wants to talk about it. I will. I'm talking about it right now. The mainstream media, you'll never hear anything about the job losses in the oil industry. They are always just going to paint. They're going to talk about Chevron, Texaco. They're going to talk about ExxonMobil. They're going to talk about big oil and how evil they are, but they're not going to talk about the human side of it because that doesn't fit their narrative. I don't know. It just kind of depressed me. My dad was an oil man. He retired as a general manager of a big oil tool company back in 2005. And I know it bothers him. He's been retired for a long time now. It still bothers him that the oil industry, especially locally and regionally, is in the shape it's in for nothing other than politics. I really don't know what these people think we're going to move to get the energy we need, because renewable energy, I've done deals on renewable energy. I'll put a playlist up and link a couple of those in the description below. But renewable energy isn't going to answer our questions. We don't have enough rivers in California to make hydroelectric power a consideration. We do have plenty of sun for solar arrays, but you'll see in the videos I did, those solar arrays are enormous. They're gigantic. They cover hundreds, maybe thousands of acres and don't generate enough energy to supply a small city. It's not the answer. I don't know. I'm not going to get into the whole environmental nut job stuff or the mainstream media lies about the oil industry. I don't know. What do you think about the oil industry? What do you think about fossil fuels and petroleum products? Think we can live without them? I don't even think that the environmentalists understand what will happen when the petroleum industry goes away. We'll all be in covered wagons again, staying within 15 miles of the place we were born. I don't know. Again, what do you think? What do you think about it all? Let me know in the comments below. Shoot me an email, motopoet59@gmail.com. Like, share, subscribe, click on the bell if you want to be notified of future content. We'll see you all later.